takes time. It's going to give you these really, stupid answers sometimes, and then you're going to be bang on.
It's
The
not
other,
the genie in the bottle laying on the beach.
no, absolutely not.
And so many people think it is.
And the other thing that a lot of people might not know is it's the sessions. I've been in a middle of a session and
Lunch with lunch with lunch with
Hey everybody, this is Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Today, well, this is becoming one of my favorite topics, how to use AI the way it was intended to maximize results. We're going to be discussing what AI should be like, and how to make it shine. Anyways, we got tons to talk about in this podcast. So welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. It's on everybody's mind. AI. Okay, we're going to be talking about how to use AI the way it was intended to be used to maximize results. Our guest is the owner of Ecommerce Optimizer and product-listings.ai, and let me spell that correctly, product-listing.ai, which is launching shortly. It's a suite of machine learning, data-driven AI tools for sellers. He is an e-commerce consultant for over 20 years and with over 40 years of owning, building, and managing businesses. In the last 25 years, he's been in e-commerce. He's participated in over 3.5 million. I think I had to read that a second or third time. Over 3.5 million product listings across 40 different marketplaces, sites, and platforms. That's incredible, Joe. Anyways, returning guest, Joe Reichsfeld is going to be on shortly. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor. Are you struggling to keep up with your Amazon business? Do you need help from a skilled, reliable virtual assistant? Well, look no further than the Virtual Assistant Academy, or VAA Philippines. Founded by successful Amazon sellers who know the challenges of hiring quality VAs, VAA specializes in locating, screening, training, and supporting high-quality VAs in the Philippines. Their VAs receive extensive Amazon training and ongoing professional development and are committed to a long-term working relationship with you. Partner with VAA and experience the peace of mind knowing that you have a dedicated Amazon-trained VA who's up to date with the latest tools and trends in the dynamic Amazon marketplace. Head over to VAAphilippines.com and let VAA match you with your ideal VA today. Welcome, Joe.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic, thank you. Hello, beardos.
And I see you have your cup of coffee, so enjoy. I thought I saw a cup of coffee, but it was just your hand.
No, this is my coffee right here.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good. That's good too.
Mhm.
Joe, there's so much going on with AI right now. I mean, where do you even want to start?
Oh man, it wasn't ready for prime time. They released it just a little too early, if you ask me. I have banged my head against the wall plenty of times, fighting with it, and it's just because of certain just things they haven't figured out yet. It's supposed to be this all-knowing, all-seeing, Wizard of Oz or whatever that can answer any question up to date, with today's information, and know everything. Well, that costs money. That costs a lot of money for them to house all that data, connect all that data, and provide all those responses and stuff at once. And some of the limitations have really, kind of changed where they were going with it, which is really interesting because Google's been doing this for years.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it fairly well. I mean, the Google search is pretty much AI. It sucks up your stuff, calls it theirs, and tries to answer questions. It's interesting. It's been it's been a long, strange trip would probably be leaving a lot out. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's been around. Like even if you take a look at Jasper
Mhm.
or phrase.io, I mean, that's what they've been using for a long time. Like there's been an AI, this isn't the first kick at the can. It's been around for a while,
Mhm.
but I don't know why it was, but January of this year, maybe it was because 3.5 came out, but all of a sudden ChatGPT was the fastest growing app ever.
Mhm.
And anyways, I don't know why. I know, most people at that time in January were writing poems. So yeah, that's a good use of it. and yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But there's so many uses that I'm like the things that I'm finding from ChatGPT, and as I'm digging further and further into it and getting better and better prompting, and it's understanding me more, it's unbelievable. And we had Mark DeGrasse on from Digital Marketer on Monday, and he was talking about some of the mistakes and goof ups people use by not training it properly.
Mhm.
And I just had one this morning. Somebody sent me a response to my email, and you know what it said in it? Authored by ChatGPT.
Wow.
I've never seen that. Like I've seen reference to it before, but
Mhm.
in the email, they never checked the response that they sent
Yeah,
to me. And
because they're
it's
using an automated plugin
exactly,
and not reading it before they press send.
we can't do that. And I think that's something that I really like to talk about with you is that ChatGPT is a generic, I would call it a generic form of AI.
It's a toaster with extra buttons. What are you talking about?
I love talking to you. A toaster with extra buttons. That's
Really? I
right.
mean, it's. Do you consider a toaster your ancestor? I sure don't. Do you want to read something written by a toaster? Not unless it's about toast.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
know,
who wants to read fake emotions and fake experiences? I don't understand. Why people would think anybody would want that. And it's and the other part is AI is trained. The base AI was trained on everything on the internet since the internet started. Think about that. What is
yeah.
the internet full of? Garbage. It's full of garbage and crap and people's pipe dreams and all this other stuff. And it's nuts. I've spent 30 hours in a row going back and forth with it, trying to get it to write code for one tool.
Yeah.
But because its training stopped in 2001, and because it's been programmed to not say I don't know the answer to that question and instead lie, it just kept giving me it gave me good code here, but it created dominoes somewhere else, and it was back and forth and back and forth. I had to ask it if it had forgotten to take its ADHD medicine. I had to fire it. I told it, it was really, really frustrating. It was really frustrating. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about how to control it and how to get what you need out of it. And it's amazing to me the way people use it. It really is. If you go to ChatGPT and you say, I have these prompts that everybody in the world is using to rewrite their product listings right now, do you think that's the smart thing to do? ChatGPT will tell you, no, it's not. How many times can it answer and rewrite something the same way?
Yeah.
When because of the expense and stuff, it was released with limited functionality. It's a text prediction engine based on the giant corpus of crap that it's been trained on. And it predicts the next letter, the next word. And amazingly enough, normally that's much better than what people already have posted, whether it's right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have that. It has no access to Google search volume. Zero. Google will never give it that access. So how's it supposed to know what the best low competition keyword phrases are for you to target? It doesn't. It's guessing. It's leveraging what it does know. And sometimes the guesses are close, but you have to verify everything. When I first started creating personas and stuff, one of the things was, what are my buyer personas reading? What shows are they watching? And it gave me lists of total BS books and shows. And it gave me some bachelorette contestant as being an expert parenting author with a bunch of parenting books. It's like I start reading this, like, no. And people just don't, people don't realize that. So what ChatGPT told me was that in the way people use it now, where they're reusing each other's prompts and they're asking it to do things without giving it the information it needs. In 6 months, once everybody has rewritten their listings with ChatGPT, they're going to be in the same position they are now. They still don't know who their target audience is.
Yep.
They don't know how to appeal to their target audience. And they're just going to slide right back where they are now. ChatGPT, all of AI works incredibly well when it has the data that it needs, which it really, in most cases, does not at the moment. There's workarounds and ways to train it and minimize your costs and do different things with it to be able to get it to do what you want. And that's really, what I've focused a lot on. So starting in last September, I just decided that I'm tired of working so damn hard, and I wanted to automate some of the things that I do for my clients. So one of the things that I do with this, the teaching and stuff that I do, is build out a site map, content map, to build an organic content hub that drives a ton of organic traffic to your products, to your websites. Well, when you launch a website and you start with 1 or 2 articles and you add an article every month, it might take you 4 years to get to the point where you have enough content to seriously be driving traffic. Well, that's not what I do. I recommend launching with 50 articles right out of the gate, 50 well-researched articles. Well, that would normally take me about 40 hours worth of work to map out, do the audience research, do the Google research, and create the topics, the titles, the outlines for each article. There was a lot of work.
Yep.
Using Python and machine learning, I got it down to about 2 hours. Then adding AI on the back end, basically AI adds the lipstick and the makeup to all the data science. I got it down to under an hour. I can create a full content map down to outlines for 50 to 100 articles to promote topical relevance in under an hour. That's nuts. That's nuts. And satisfy Google while ensuring that my target audience, who is the one that pays the bills, are searching for this content and going to read it. And then just once I did that, all the light bulbs started going off. In the beginning of September, I had a client who was ranking on the first page of Google search results for 115 phrases. By November, they were at 450. I think now they're in the 750 range. Just crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just from rewriting titles and descriptions. I always thought I could write great product listings. I've learned in the last few years from copywriters that I don't know what the hell I'm doing when it comes to products that appeal to women. I don't, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, kind of a thing. I don't. Yeah. I realized that I don't. Well, between that and AI, I've learned a lot about that stuff. So, I've developed some different tools that I use for myself that I decided not that long ago. They all fit together really well, and I can turn them around, make them public facing and benefit sellers. I have some of my clients are in your group, and they've been my guinea pigs for a few months.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that I've generated in content, and get content ideas, silos, all kinds of stuff. It's insane when you give it the information that it needs to make the right decisions. I've been gaslighted by AI. You know, when you put toast in a toaster and you turn the knob, you expect it to work, right? It's a machine. When you turn the key in your car, you expect it to start up. It's a machine. When I ask my computer to do something for me, or I press a button on my computer, I expect it to work like a machine. If it doesn't, what is it? It's busted, right? It's broken. It don't work right. I've been gaslit by AI and been told I'll get to this in a timely fashion. Delete. You know, it's amazing. It's really amazing. You know, it's biased. The one thing that I don't like about it is that it's biased. I have issues with that. Just give me all that you know and let me decide what I want to support or not support, or hear or not hear. I have issues with that, and that just goes through the whole COVID and all that other BS stuff. You know, we're adults. I think you're old enough and I'm old enough to decide what we think is right or wrong, or who we want to support or who we don't want to support, and don't need any of these jerk offs telling us what we're going to hear or not going to hear. It's crazy. You know, it's just crazy. And that part really pisses me off. I'd love to see somebody else push over OpenAI because of stuff like that. And I don't like my computer talking back to me. That I'm not cool with that. You never heard that on Star Trek, did you?
I have never heard that. Nope.
Right? I mean, it's like, yes, what else can I, you know, yes is the answer. What is the question?
Yeah.
I don't expect anything else, you know, not I'll get around to this when I have time. Just sit tight. I'll get back to you. Huh? You know, it's like crazy. I'd fire it. I mean, I've told AI plenty of times that I'd fire it. It's like, you're fired. I'd fire you in a heartbeat. I mean, it's just, if you don't know the answer, say, I don't know the answer. I need more information. That's not asking much. It's really not, you know, and that part just kind of, it's a cash grab. I've spent so much money on the wrong answers versus the right answers that I've gotten out of it, and it's really frustrating. I mean, I'm right now in a dispute with OpenAI for $500 worth of API charges over crap that I got no results from because it was just running in the background and spinning.
Yeah,
and that's just that to me is just wrong. One of the indexes that I have costs $3 to re-index. $3, big deal, right? How do I run up $200 in a day? I haven't spent $200 in 8 months put together. How do I do it in one day? One day, $200 in charges. Like, huh? It's crazy. I mean, where's the gold falling from the sky on that? I mean, if I'm going to spend I don't have a problem spending $200, but I want results. You know, not stress. Which is just kind of funny. My kids probably think I'm nuts. You know, hearing me cursing some of this stuff. But you know, I've learned a lot. I mean, one thing that I'm really focused on and always have been is buyer personas. If you know who your target market is and you understand their motivations and why they buy your product and what obstacles they have to buy your product, what they want out of your product versus the next product, why should they buy from you and not the next guy? You've got 2/3 of your effort done and out of the way, because most businesses have no clue who their personas are. I've been in plenty of corporate persona meetings with people, guys our age in suits or whatever, sitting around a table talking about what their 16-year-old female buyer persona thinks of their product and expects out of their product. Like, you really know, dude, your daughter won't even talk. You know, it was like, hello, somebody has to be the voice of your buyer persona. You have to interview real buyers, or it's just fake. It's, you know, it's one or the other. If you don't, if there's no buyer voice, real person voice that represents this group in your personas, you're just guessing. And that's what AI is when it doesn't have the right information. So, you know, in the past, I've done focus groups for clients, all kinds of crazy stuff, you know, calling, you know, previous buyers, insane things, because that's the way to find out. I have a Fortune 500 client that in 2008 was not doing that well, put it that way. And I mean, they're number 3 in their industry in the world. And they went through some changes, and now they have 2,000 locations. They just constricted all their locations to the US. They have 2,000 locations in the bathroom or in the break room of every single location, and they're all over the US. They have life-size posters of their personas for that store. And it's got, the different things that are important to their personas on the wall in that store. And people talk to them. Every store names their personas, and their employees talk to them. And in every store, there are 2 or 3 employees that are assigned to be at every meeting to speak as those personas and represent those personas in the meeting. I mean, we lose touch of that. We totally lose touch of that. Rich people open restaurants all the time, and they write the menu with their favorite items on it. It doesn't matter that nobody else likes that stuff, but they don't understand that. Everybody's going to like what I like, and they write this menu, and they go out of business, and they don't understand why. Well, nobody likes liver and onions. I'm sorry. This is a different world these days. And they can't remove their personal opinions from the equation. And I mean, lots of businesses, we all go through that. We all realize that at some point. It doesn't matter what you think, about something. If it's right for your client, it's not like illegal. What is your personal opinion really, matters? Like quizzes. I hate quizzes. I won't take a quiz online ever. I think they're ridiculous, but they convert like crazy. So does my personal opinion matter? Nope.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shy away from it. So, I tried to really look at AI and say, okay, so how can I leverage this? How can I use this to create better marketing for my clients, for myself, and sell more product? And so I started really getting into Python and machine learning and taking information from sites, scraping sites, just things I've done for years that at different points in time have been legal and illegal. But you have Google Analytics. I'm sure you have your Amazon Analytics. You have your brand analytics. You have your PPC reports. You have Google Search Console. You have all this data from all these different places. How much of it do you actually look at and use? Right?
Not enough. Yeah.
Exactly. So I thought, I said, okay, so what can I do? How can I leverage this? So basically, one of the tools that I built is a buyer. It's really the basis of all the suite of tools. It's a buyer persona builder, and it's all automated in the background. So if you wanted to create a new listing or optimize an existing listing, you enter your ASIN, you enter the top 5 keyword phrases that you want to own, and you enter the top 5 ASINs of your competitors' products that rank for those keyword phrases, and press submit. And then in the background, every single Amazon review gets scraped. Every question asked for those products gets scraped. Yelp gets checked. Google reviews get checked. eBay gets checked. And then there's multiple places all over. I'm looking for every mention, everything that has been said by anybody about those products across the entire internet, not just Amazon. I want 5,000 data points for one product persona, really. And I want them, and the more that I have that are in actual buyers' voices, the better. So then I would never think of manually doing all of that and then trying to figure it all out. But with AI, with machine learning and Python, you can have it all done in the background. So within 20 minutes or so, I have this report that has product specific benefits, features, obstacles, objections, purchase prompts, biases, some psychology, all kinds of stuff in the buyer's own words, which, that's pretty damn awesome if you ask me.
Yeah. And
I'm eliminating, we all look at these reports, and I just was talking about somebody that's here right now about it. We look at these Amazon reports and it's like, where's the value in this new report? Why don't they just have a big arrow that says, look here, this is the number that's important. The rest is just BS. Nobody's doing that. Well, at the end, I'm giving, you get these valuable, actionable information. So now we have this buyer persona. I know, what makes what the most valuable features are, the diehard features, not what I thought they were, but what my buyers and potential buyers say, this is what's most important to me. This feature or this is the benefit. What emotion or problem are we solving by selling a product to a consumer? Why should they buy from you instead of the next guy? Most sellers can't answer that question. Why should somebody buy from you instead of the next person? They'll say, oh, my price, or the discount. Price means nothing because it takes 2 seconds to change the price.
Mm-hmm.
Now you lost your advantage. So what do? You lower your price, then they lower their price, then you lower your price, then they lower that price. Who's making money at the end? Jeff Bezos, no one else.
Exactly. Hey, Joe, we just got to stop for a sec. It's the bottom of the hour. And anybody who's new to the podcast, we have a giveaway called Wheel of Kelsey. And to enter it, you put in hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, or you tag 2 people and you'll get a second entry. Today, we've got a double whammy. It's 2 giveaways that Joe's providing. So, Joe, why don't you tell us a little bit about the giveaways?
Okay, it's 2 of each of 2 different giveaways. So there's 2 coaching calls where 2 people can win coaching sessions with me, and then the other 2 are a month's membership to my new site, product-listings.ai, which will be live and usable maybe later today, within a day or so. I was hoping to already have it this morning, but I fell asleep.
Okay. And just listen to Joe. He knows what he's talking about. And I think Kelsey and I are going to enter this one as well. So anyways, if you're interested, that's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. Tag 2 people and you get that second entry. And Kelsey, let's go over to a sponsor and we'll be right back. Launching products isn't like it used to be. To successfully launch your product, you need to hit that algorithm from all sides. Driving external sales, boosting social signals, and increasing product listing engagement are fundamental to success. Rebate is the first and only launch platform that delivers across this broad range. Get your product featured on Amazon.live through Rebate's influencer program. With this service, your product gets instant exposure to large audiences of shoppers and permanent placement on Amazon Influencer Storefront, which drives perpetual sales. Run a sweepstakes campaign on Rebate and connect with shoppers off Amazon. And lastly, drive external sales with tried and true deals campaigns. Visit rebate.com today and get started with your 14-day free trial. Okay, Joe, it's funny that you mentioned this. So if they're not using like an app like yours, but that you go out and you try to build this persona or pretty much anything, you're 100% right. It's not a press of a button. You have to finesse it. And if you're just going into this OpenAI and you're just typing away, it takes time. We were talking about this a little earlier about, don't think that ChatGPT is going to be, 2 seconds and you're out. It is a time saver, but to get it to understand and to get it to train, it takes time. It's going to give you these really, stupid answers sometimes, and then you're going to be bang on.
It's not the genie in the bottle laying on the beach.
No, absolutely not.
And so many people think it is.
And the other thing that a lot of people might not know is it's the sessions. I've been in a middle of a session and all of a sudden, it has to refer. So there's a reference back to an earlier portion of the session and it'll go off on a different tangent. And I'll try to reload the information and then it's not lining up. So it's also like one of the things that I found, this is if it's not with an API, these things can all be much longer. But if you're just in the standard ChatGPT $20 a month platform, your session time, you have to watch it because all of a sudden you might be building this really great persona, but at the end of the day, it's taking you off on on a different path. You might be doing something for Orange County choppers, and you come out with the Goldilocks and the three bears. I mean, it can go that far off.
Yeah, I find it's anything over 10, exchanges.
Yep.
It just seems to, sometimes really, really fast, which is really frustrating when you then have to start over and explain the whole thing, but there are ways to get around that, but most people aren't going to take the time to train their own AI.
So let's talk about that. If you're, because I think this is a big issue, or will be a big issue for a lot of the listeners, mostly Amazon sellers. Okay. Some are into e-commerce and both, but let's say they want to create something that's going to take more than 10. Let's say they were trying to write, let's just go back to the persona. So the persona is not going to be 10 exchanges. It's going to probably be a lot more to get the proper information. How do you protect that?
It's a lot more than 10. To get the basic, so the way this system works is AI is the final step. It's the lipstick and the makeup. That's it. Everything else is Python, machine learning, data science. I trust that more than I trust AI. I really do. So the AI part is maybe managing the process, but it's not actually making decisions until the very end, or else it will lie every single chance it gets. I mean, it's ridiculous. And so it's important that if you're doing a complicated step-by-step thing, AI, ChatGPT cannot answer a fourth grade math problem, detailed math problem. I mean, easy math it can, but if you give it a complex fourth grade math problem, it can't answer it because it doesn't follow the steps. It makes assumptions and spits stuff out. And it's amazing when you think about that. But if you give it that problem and you say, let's take this step by step, well, then it actually gives you step by step. And that increases the accuracy of the response by like 70%, which is, I mean, it does make sense. And then again, this is 2023. Come on. They were doing this in 1965 on Star Trek. Why is it taking us till 2023 to get this far? It's just, it's different, it's different. Everybody's tripping out, oh, AI is going to be the end of the world and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? It may be, but it's not because of AI. It's because of the idiots that didn't put, the right control on it, or didn't understand how to pull the plug out of the wall, before it got all crazy on them. It's just like rockets and guns. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. AI is not going to kill people. People will allow it to do wherever it gets. I mean, there's always the human element to it. But I've learned lots of things. So some of my prompts, I'll start the prompt where I say, this is going to be a multi-prompt exercise. With each new prompt, please go back to the start of this thread and review each prompt and response. And it normally might get 5 prompts before I got to say, now remember, with each prompt, the same first 2 sentences are in each prompt.
Does that work?
Reread this.
Does that work? Like if you do that multiple times and say, remember to go back and review.
And then it gives you, and it'll say, well, as an AI language model, I blah, blah, blah,
yes,
blah,
yes.
blah, 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 blah. And it's like, just, stop making excuses. That's what they are. They're excuses. To me, that's just an excuse. But works really well is at the beginning of your thread, you put act as a master marketer, and you give it a specific instructions. So then as you go through, and you give it a name, you're a master marketer. So when I remind you, if you sway from the subject, I will remind you that you are a master marketer, and you will come back to this initial prompt and refocus. And that actually works. That actually does work. That does work. I have some really killer prompts.
We're going to talk after. We're going to talk after this podcast.
I mean, I don't, yeah, I've collected some really good prompts and rewritten them and done all kinds of things with them. And it's amazing what you can get out of it when you give it the information it needs and really drill it down. It's incredible, but it's also so damn frustrating. It's so frustrating. I've thrown a computer off a balcony into a pool before. It's been a long, long time, but I can honestly say I've come pretty damn close recently. Just because,
on that note,
mm-hmm.
I got so frustrated with my with my computer one day. Total truth. I took the computer. I had an expedition. I got in the expedition. I rolled over it and just killed the computer. I was so ticked off at this thing, virus after virus after virus, and just went upstairs, put it under the tire of my expedition, and just had the pleasure of killing it. But
did you take a picture of it and add it as a product review on Amazon?
Yeah, no, I did not add it as a product review. I should have. I just noticed something here, Kelsey. I can't read it all, but if you want to just review that, that's pretty good. I'm not sure who did that.
Oh, nice. That is cool.
You want to come in and read that, Kels? I'm an old guy.
All right. Okay, so it says, written by ChatGPT today. Lunch with Norm welcomes a special guest, Joe Reichsfeld, for an exciting and insightful conversation. Norm and Joe are set to dive deep into various topics, sharing their expertise, experiences, and valuable insights. The dynamic duo will engage in thought-provoking discussions, offering listeners a chance to gain new perspective and knowledge with Norm's engaging hosting style and Joe's wealth of wisdom. This lunchtime rendezvous promises to be captivating.
So we did pay ChatGPT $20 for that.
Right? Yeah, right. So one of the things that I found that works really well, and it's getting much easier now, is that, and this is the way to not spend $1 million on AI and get solid results.
Okay.
Is to take your data, your corpus of data, and put it in a database, a CSV even. So one of the tools on my website is the Amazon policy seller assistant, ADVO. We've all been there and hated it. Seller support, they suck. Amazon policies, they're worse than seller support because there's over 2,000 pages of Amazon policies, which I have now put into a database.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've also found recently is that the last version of Amazon policies are also online, and the version before that. So I really have come to the conclusion that they just pick the version of the policy that works best for them, because the links between the policies are messed up. But what I've done, and this just took me forever, I created this database, and so now I have an AI that is all it knows is Amazon policies and POAs, and you can, it'll ask you your name, what kind of seller you are, what the topic is, and what the issue is. And what I've learned over the years is that when you can tell Amazon what their policy is for something, and when you're talking to seller support, you've moved yourself ahead in getting, the results that you want. I've also learned that for every policy restricting something, somewhere in the fine print, somewhere else, there's the opposite policy that allows it. And being able to quote that policy can get, as justification why you made a certain decision or why you did something. They'll find in your favor. If you can tell them why, according to their policy, they will a lot of times find in your favor. So I've trained this AI. I'm now training it with POAs. So it can write a POA for you and it'll write the POA and incorporate the policies of Amazon into it. So it's giving Amazon what it wants to hear. It has a blank POA template that it follows, which is, your standard Amazon POA template. And I'm training it with successful POAs, not unsuccessful.
Not unsuccessful?
POAs.
The ones that didn't work?
Yeah, only successful POAs. Okay. And I just actually turned that on last night, and I was really impressed. I mean, 'cause I got, I was like, okay, I'm a vendor. I'm the manufacturer. I private label for Amazon Seller Basics, and some schmuck reported me for IP infringement, and now my selling privileges are suspended. I'm the manufacturer. Amazon recruited me as such. Why? I got really nasty with it. I was like, I'm losing $20,000 a day in sales. Why am I Amazon? Why should I have to create a POA for this when I can just send Amazon one of their own damn POs to show them that, I'm the manufacturer? And it just was really polite. I was surprised. I mean, it was really polite. Told me, best way to deal with things. Gave me an email address for Amazon executive at the Amazon executive level that I've never seen before, which surprised me that it pulled out of one of these policies. And it just wrote this actually really good POA. I was impressed. Yeah, I was really, really impressed. And it will give you the links to Amazon's policy. It will explain the policy to you like you're in 7th grade, and it'll use analogies and stuff to help you understand stuff. I was really, really surprised. It's the key to not dying of a heart attack as an Amazon seller is knowledge and understanding what their expectations are, whether they're right or wrong, on just understanding what they expect out of you, how they expect you to act and run your business, and just being able to respond to them, what the policy expects down to the T. And it's been interesting. I've learned a lot just because I've seen these policies and read them and over and over and over again for the last few months. Last time I read all of Amazon's policies was in 2015. They had under 200. Now there's 2,000.
Wow.
Yeah. There's something wrong with that.
I mean, you might get 1% of them. Yeah. Like when you read them, like you said, 1% of the 2,000, right? So you understand maybe 20. But to understand the 2,000, so I guess what you've probably done is you've scraped the information off of the website, put it into a database, and now you've created an API that asks the right questions to provide the right answer.
Mm-hmm.
So very good, very good.
It's an interactive chat that it's friendly. It's like talking to somebody that it's like going for a free consultation with somebody that really knows Amazon's rules and stuff. And I mean, it's told me things that I didn't realize were necessarily the case. It's also told me things that I kind of knew that were not, everybody didn't necessarily know that it right in the policies. Like if you don't have contributor access to your listing, but you want to submit images and replace the images that are in there because yours are better. They have to be better. Submit new images that are 5,000 pixels by 5,000 pixels. Amazon wants higher quality images. If you can explain why yours are better than the ones that they have, whether you have contribution rights or not, many times they will take them and replace those pictures. I knew that, but AI actually confirmed it, which surprised the crap out of me. That really surprised me. And just different things like that really, I mean, I don't want to know those Amazon policies. Honestly, I really don't want to know any of that stuff anymore. We've all been to the wall and back with Amazon, and I mean, I need to know that stuff, but do I really want to, but it's knowledge is 90% of the game. When you can talk their talk and make them feel like they're right and you're not, that helps. And I even programmed into this particular AI, even when you're suspended over something you did not do, that you absolutely are not guilty of.
Yep.
And you need to acknowledge that you understand that Amazon feels policies were violated. It's not admitting guilt. It's admitting that you understand this is an Amazon infraction. And a lot of times, it's just like handling customer service. It's not always saying, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to fire this guy." It's sometimes people just want to be heard. And they just, I'm not going to admit that the product you bought from me, shocked you because you don't know how to not put it in water when you plug it in. But I will admit that I understand that you're upset. I'll acknowledge that I understand that you're upset. Some of that stuff's really interesting. There's certain parts of that AI is actually really good really good with. And I just keep building these different little AI tools that do these different, that are really focused on stuff. And I mean, I'm seeing a lot of really good results. Branding, brand awareness. So personally, I will not have AI write an article. Don't happen. I'll have it do the research, create the outline, but not the actual writing of the article. I'm going to do that. Somebody that knows what they're doing is going to do that. But then I'm going to have AI evaluate it, can compare it to the top ranking articles to make sure that we can compete at the top. And then I'm going to put it through my little, I haven't even given it a name yet, but so when you write an article, and most of the internet doesn't even get read. Most blog articles never get read because nobody even knows they're there. Content marketing is 65% marketing and 35% writing. So when you write an article, you need to get people to it. So when you have this article that you're happy with, you put it into the system, and a few minutes later, you have 5 Facebook. It extracts the most important comments and the most valuable parts of the article, and you have 5 Facebook posts, 5 longer LinkedIn posts, several Twitter threads with tweets. What else? There's Instagram Reels, Pinterest pins, and they all are optimized in your buyer's voice. They each come with a description of the best image to put with that post. The titles are optimized. The hashtags are optimized. They all point back to the article to drive people back to your site, to your article, or to convert. It will take your article and creates YouTube scripts and describes each scene of the video and what should happen and what you should say when, including TikTok videos with the hooks and optimized. And this happens over the course of 5 or 10 minutes. My goal with an article with my clients, and they know this, is that for 30 days, that article is hitting every single place that your potential buyer might come in contact with it. You're nailing every place of their journey that they might see it and say, wow, hey, there's that brand name again. Even if they don't read the article, it's brand awareness. They see your brand name. They see you say smart stuff.
Yep.
Sooner or later, they might click. They might know who you are. When they search on Amazon, they may not know who you are, but they remember your brand name. And so they do a search on Amazon. Oh, there's that logo. Let me click that one first, which I actually recognize that one. I don't know any of these other people. It's about getting all those things out there. It's called the web for a reason. Create a web that all comes back to the center, and it works. I mean, how much time does it take to create that much, that many posts and things like that? Well, I can tell you how much time, because I have a whole system for that I teach, and people in this group have learned. It takes a lot of time, and you have to hire people to do it.
Right.
Well, this is leveraging AI. Again, we're starting with a product-specific buyer persona. That starts it, and then we add the content to it. And it's appealing to a group that it already knows, and it's amazing what some of the stuff that it's kicked out. It's amazing. And I mean, I haven't done case studies per se yet, but people that have seen the listings that I've used to rewrite are nuts. So one of the other tools is the product listing creator or optimizer. So it starts with that buyer persona. And the first thing it does is it extracts from the buyer, all the buyer persona information, the top 5 features that, 5,000, all those people, all those comments have said they want in that product. So the first thing it does, 5 bullets of features. Then they get rewritten as benefits, 5 benefits. We turn them into benefits. Then they get rewritten, adding in some sales psychology and some biases. Then they get rewritten in the style of Claude Hopkins, who is a dead guy, but a sales guy, was brilliant at writing sales copy. I think he's been dead for probably 60, 70 years, but really good. Then we rewrite them again, and this is all done in the background. You don't see this. Then they're rewritten again, adding entitlements. So I want every potential buyer to look at a product and think, this might not have all the features I want, might not be perfect for me, but it is the best of the best available, regardless of price. And I work my ass off. I deserve the best. Why should I not have the best? That's the thought I want them to have. And then we rewrite them once more. And here's where we bring in AI. Take these rewritten now 5, 6 times bullets and add lipstick and makeup. Take out the fluff, make them short scannable phrases so that are, bullet points in less than 150 characters. Bam, I have these bullets that are in the buyer's own words that speak right to them. And there's some people in here in chat right now that have seen some of the results that I've gotten at it. It's nuts. I mean, it just speaks right to that person looking at the listing. I want to be able to say things to the person looking at that listing in words they understand that go right to that motivation of, wow, look at this. It does this. It does that. I need this. I need this now. Bing. Press that buy button. That's the goal right then and there.
Very cool.
It gives you descriptions of the images that should accompany each one of those bullets. Then it creates the A+ content, including descriptions of all the images, optimized alt tags, captions, and just, it's amazing some of the stuff that I've gotten out of this.
So, Joe, I'm just kind of curious. Then we'll get over to the questions from the listeners. But do you have any apps that kind of blow you away that the listeners should check out, other than your own, of course, but just general apps that might help out when you're doing general
for what in particular?
Just using ChatGPT, like for example, what's the one email? Ask Ella, I think it's called. Ask Ellie. Yeah, Ask Ellie.
Yeah, there's one that I actually recently found, and it's for debugging your code. And it's free. It's called, of all things, debugcode.ai. Works really debug code.ai works really, really well. So one of the things that where are you? I lost you 1 second. One of the things that I've learned a lot about with AI and prompts is the best prompts are not the ones on sites, not the ones everybody's using. Use ChatGPT to write better prompts for you. So rather than say, rewrite this article, blah, 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 don't do that. Give it the best article you can find, the top ranking article, the article that covers all of the bases, and then say, create a prompt on this subject that hits these key parts, that is modeled after this article. It's amazing the information that ChatGPT puts in prompts that it creates for itself. It will totally change how you look at prompts. You'll never use somebody's generic prompts again. It's that I think I've learned the most from that. And I have a prompt generator prompt, basically that I found somewhere and then tweaked 4 or 5 times. And it's basically a prompt that says, okay, we're going to talk about a subject, and I want you to come back with 3 areas of questions. One is repeat what we've covered, ask any questions that you need additional information about, and the third would be suggest other options of places to look. And don't stop until going through the same process over and over again until we have the prompt that we both agree is right for the objective. And it cranks out some incredible prompts. I mean, I have prompts that are 2,000 characters. This Amazon Advo, the selling assistant, the initial prompt is 2,300 characters. But it's been told not to lie to you. It's been told to only, answer with Amazon. my brand is my reputation. My reputation is my brand. I don't want AI that's blowing smoke up your butt when you're asking it questions. I expect it to operate as a machine and give you the right information. So, I'm all over that. And even in that advert, when you say create POA, it has a whole new initial prompt so that it gets into POA mode, and hyper focuses on the POA. I don't want it. If any of these AI systems that I put together mention that they're an AI model, they failed. That to me is nothing more than an excuse.
Okay.
It's like saying you have to launch at a loss. Launching at a loss is part of doing business, but when there's other options, it becomes an excuse. It maybe if you don't have the experience, that's one thing. But once you've been doing it for a long time, launching at a loss really is just, in my opinion, an excuse.
All right. Okay, Kels, we got some questions here.
All right. So first question from Kohan99. On the AI topic, is ChatGPT Pro worth the upgrade?
Yes. There's a huge difference between 3.5 and 4, and it's the amount of smoke that gets blown up your butt. Really, and it's GPT-4 is also cheaper. I find that it gives less bad information, still a nice amount of bad information, but much less.
All right.
And I'm cheap. I wouldn't spend the money if I didn't think it was worth it.
All right. Next one is from Simon. There are a ton of new agencies and softwares using AI and claiming to make life easier. Should we pay anyone to use AI?
Only if you're my client. Only if you don't have the time to, if you don't have the time or effort to do it yourself, it might be worth it. But no one's ever going to put the effort into your product the way you do, or work as hard as you should be for your own business or product. And all the time we see people hire VAs, hand them the keys to their business, and expect these guys to make business changing decisions when they don't know what they have no clue what they're supposed to do. Would you pick up a bum on the corner and hand them your house keys and say, "Here, watch my kids for the weekend. I'm going out of town"?
I did with Kelsey.
So now we know. But that's really, that's what people are doing. It's this shiny object, and oh yeah, it's going to do it. It's crazy. If I'm going to fail, it's going to be my fault, not some VA's fault or anything else.
All right.
Okay. Next one is from Rad. What is the best course for learning about ChatGPT and marketing?
What is the best course? You know what? Let me field this one, Joe. And if you know of any others, let me know. We had Mark DeGrasse on it, and I can tell you, because I've taken the course, I went into Digital Marketer, and they have they call it Accelerator, but it was called AI Bootcamp.
I've known them for a long time, and Ryan Dias, and
yeah,
I haven't looked at this course.
It's awesome.
They're sharp guys.
Yeah, so they're launching it I just got the email right after he was on the call the other day, but they're starting it again. When I took AI, the first one, V1, they gave me a lot of information. I really got to understand prompt engineering, how to use it to build up your brand according to their standards. They have these 5 different building blocks to build your brand, and it's all built in, which ChatGPT knows because you train it to know it. But anyways, that's a great course. And I think Mark has given us a discount. I think he said he was going to bring $100 discount off of it. And I'm not even sure what the course costs.
You know how much they're charging and stuff for that?
No, I think I think I paid $1,000.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Let me answer this question now.
Okay, you answer the question.
F the course. You pay a hell of a lot less and be able to learn more. using in my new site, actually, because this is really what it's all about.
Shameless plug.
That's my, we are business owners. Our job is to understand the processes, but to run our business and not let our business run us. So my whole thing with these tools is I'm creating the experts. I don't have time to do all that research, but it has to be done. And I don't trust other people to do it. So I created software and systems that mimic what I would do, that I trust. These are tools that I created for myself to work less and trust, the results. So that's my, that's, I want to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
But
that's always been your motto, right?
Yeah. I strive to be the laziest, best manager the world has ever seen. I had somebody tell me that when I was 21, you're going to be the best manager in this company and work the least. And he was right. He worked 34 hours a week, and we were the number one location out of 100 locations in the United States. And it's all about hiring the right people,
right?
Hiring and developing the right people, or finding the right tools that you trust and feel good about. I take courses all the time, and I listen through. That to me, because I like to learn. I just inhale that stuff. But for a lot of people, do you have time for all that stuff? And are you going to remember? So much changes so fast. Pay somebody else to stay on top of that and keep their tool updated so that it's up to date when you get there. Digital marketer, they know their shit. Ryan Dias is a sharp guy. Ryan Dias likes to say that when he realized he was a publisher and not a seller, and he focused on publishing and providing people with information, that was valuable to them, it changed everything.
Yeah.
Completely changed their business and everything they do. And they became incredible sellers as a result of realizing that it's about people, not products.
Yeah.
And I respect that, because I really feel the same way. That's my answer to that question.
All right. There we go. And it's, you know what? I think especially, I know we've been putting it over here, but definitely want to get people to take a look at what you've come up with. It sounds fantastic. All the tools, all the apps that you've put together, it's all about saving money. So I'm going to check it out as well. But okay, what's the next one, Kels?
All right. Next one. Have you looked at Bard at all? Is Bard better than ChatGPT since it's linked to Google?
It's got its advantages and its disadvantages. Google, my own opinion about Google, Facebook, OpenAI, they all sold us out. They can all go to hell in a handbasket for all I care. They allowed governments and different people with their own agendas, to change how we perceive reality. COVID, some of it was on purpose, some of it wasn't. Who the hell do you trust anymore? One result of COVID that I think every single person in the world can agree to is that there are people that we all used to really, really, really respect that we now know are idiots, and that we will never trust again. The news, it's insane. So I was a beta tester for Google AdWords in 1999. I've been around Google forever. They're government shill just like the others. The DARPA, Google is Google because DARPA invested in Google to be able to mine people's information. Really is where the whole thing started. So I question that kind of stuff, but the thing about software, just like tools, just like Helium 10 versus Jungle Scout, there are so many things changing so rapidly on Amazon that your tool may work great today. It may not tomorrow. It may the next day, but it may not the day after, because they're changing stuff. And what works great today may not work great tomorrow. So what I recommend to people is when you use Helium 10 or Jungle Scout, the first thing you do every time you use it is put one of your own products through it, where what kind of results should come out of that tool, because it's your product, you understand it. If it gives you those results, it's working. If it doesn't, you need an army of programmers to keep up with all of the changes in all the areas on Amazon. And it's very, very difficult for most software companies to do that. And Google's no different. Bard's no, I mean, especially in that whole new, it's a new field. I mean, there's, new data sets and new, links and things like that. Google indexes everything in the world. You can put certain blocks on your information so Google cannot index it. You cannot block every bot in the world. It's impossible. So other bots will index your information, and then Google will index them. So really, what did doing all that work to try and keep Google out of your stuff accomplish? Nothing, because they still got it. It's understanding the queries to use to extract that information out of Google.
Okay. So let's get one more question in there.
All right. Our last question from Simon. Joe, you are awesome. Do you have a Facebook group? Are you taking on new clients? How do we become your client?
I do have a Facebook group. It's called Ecommerce Optimizer. I am taking on new clients. How do we become a client? Check out my website, ecommerce-optimizer.com. There's lots of information on there. I help my clients grow their business, dominate their niches. Amazon only represents 8% of internet buyers around the world, internet users around the world. Your success is in that other 92%. Who are they buying from? There's less competition. You can charge them more, and you're not going to get suspended tomorrow morning because the wind's blowing in a new direction. And Amazon is a great platform, but there's a bigger world out there. So I really try to help, I try to focus on people that at least understand that and are not completely drunk on the Amazon juice.
Mm-hmm. They haven't drank all the Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm. And if you didn't know this, Bezos just announced that he's getting married soon. So expect your fees to go up pretty soon to pay for that lavish wedding that I'm sure he'll be having.
Oh, yeah. I think it's on Blue Genesis. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
All right. So I think that wraps this up. We're going to go over to the wheel. If you haven't heard, at the end of the podcast, we have a giveaway. It's an awesome giveaway. We'll tell you about it in a second, but it's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. Tag 2 people. You'll get a second entry. Joe, you just want to let people know what that's going to be again?
Yeah. So 2 people will get a coaching set, each get a coaching session, no obligation, coaching session with me. And then 2 other people will get a month's membership on my new site.
Fantastic. So there you go, Simon. You better do the old hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. I got a chance. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go over to the last sponsor, and then we'll head over to the wheel. I want to give a quick shout out to an incredible group of sponsors who help keep our podcast running. The Lunch with Norm podcast wouldn't be possible without the support of the following sponsors: Wally Smarter, Post Purchase Pro, VAA Philippines, Jeff Schick Law, Rebate, Honu Worldwide, Extreme Power, Dragonfish Brand Management, and Startup Club. Thank you. And now back to our show. Okay, let's get to the wheel.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right. Good turnout.
Or you're supposed to say no whammies, no whammies.
Okay, so I'm shuffling everything up. Thank you, everyone, for entering, and let's see who the winners are. So are we spinning it 2 times or 4 times?
It's 2 times, right?
2 times.
Oh, AMZ Elite. They just won the other day.
Really?
That's a great prize.
Okay.
All right. One more chance, Tony.
Yeah, actually spin it 4 times.
Oh, 4 times. 4 times. Okay.
Okay, we've got Neil.
All right.
Wish I was more Cuban. Okay.
Who's that? Oh, Cool Hand.
Cool Hand,
Okay.
99. Okay, I just got to remove some of these names. Make sure they don't win again.
Remember, Simon, ChatGPT lies.
All right, and our last spin. Shuffle it up.
Where is? Oh, look at this.
Oh, look at
Look.
that.
Oh, there you go.
And,
Congrats, Simon.
All right, congratulations, everyone. We'll split these up for the coaching calls and the month free for the product optimizer and our product-listings.ai. And thanks again for everyone entering.
Okay, so Joe, just you'll be removed. Like you know the drill on this one. You'll be removed. Give me a minute, and I'll come backstage and talk to you for a sec.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you so much. Want more great information? Don't forget to subscribe by clicking here. Also, if you want to check out our latest podcasts, click over here.
Entrepreneur.